Hello and namaste. In continuation with the complex numbers, as the previous session we have done, which started with the hyperbolic function, the relationship between the circular and hyperbolic functions and the important formulae related to the hyperbolic functions. Now we'll be starting with the complex numbers, the hyperbolic function, the examples based on this. Again, I have divided this into different parts because of the difficulty level of the particular formulae or particular questions. So this particular part 1 which I will be conducting here, which are very simple examples, wherein these examples are just based upon their formulae. Okay, so first prove that 1 plus tan hyperbolic x upon 1 minus tan hyperbolic x power cube is equals to cos hyperbolic 6x plus sine hyperbolic 6x. It's just using the formula which we have done it from the I button. Please just follow the session. Previous session wherein we have introduced the hyperbolic function and the circular function. Only based on those particular formulae, direct formulae, will be using this. So now 1 plus tan hyperbolic x upon 1 minus tan hyperbolic x to the power 3 is been written as equals to, so that's tan hyperbolic x. So tan hyperbolic x is equals to sine hyperbolic x upon cos hyperbolic x. So this particular very important or very simple formula, you can say, related to hyperbolic function, will be using it in this particular step. So we have used it here. After that, just by cross multiplying and everything, this cos hyperbolic from the numerator and the denominator will go off from here, and you will remain here with cos hyperbolic x plus sine hyperbolic x upon cos hyperbolic x minus sine hyperbolic x power 3. Now again we know the relation between them, that is cos hyperbolic x is equals to cos of ix. So this is a circular relationship between circular and hyperbolic, as well as sine hyperbolic x is equals to minus I times sine hyperbolic ix, sine ix, right? And that is what we have used it here to the power 3. Then again, it's because of this we wanted to go and do the rationalization of this particular complex number. So we have divided and multiplied by the conjugate of the denominator, which is cos ix minus I sine ix. Then this would give us cos ix minus I sine ix to the power 2 divided by cos square ix plus sine square ix. But again, this is cos square ix plus sine square ix would give us 1, because we know the fact that is cos square theta or x plus sine square x is giving to you as 1. So that is the same thing what the circular function we have used it here, which is giving us this to the power 2 to the power 3 would give us to the power 6. Now using the De Moivre's theorem. What is the De Moivre's theorem? De Moivre's theorem says that here, as cos of theta, or you can say cos of theta plus I sine theta to the power n would come this as is equals to cos of n theta plus I times sine of n theta. So this is the fact we have used it here. So to the power 6 will come in the angle with cos 6ix sine 6ix, which would give us cos hyperbolic 6x minus this I into this sine 6 times ix, which is nothing but I times sine hyperbolic 6x. This is because of this particular formula which we have written it here. Because of this we have got this particular identity. Then so I square would give us here minus of 1. So we have got 1 minus here, 1 minus is here, we'll be getting it as plus. So cos hyperbolic 6x plus sine hyperbolic 6x would be the answer for this particular question. So here we have just used the basic formula of all the relations between the session 1, previous session, or you can say the relationship between the circular and hyperbolic function. Please do follow the session before going for this particular session here. Now this is a very simple, and I just love this type of example, because here you will say that the way in the presentation, and it is really very exciting to follow this particular session or particular example. 1 minus cos hyperbolic square x is nothing but, so now we know the relationship between them, that is cos hyperbolic square x minus sine hyperbolic square x is equals to 1. So we'll be using this fact here, and we'll be rewriting this example or this particular example, LHS side of this, as this one. So 1 minus cos hyperbolic square x we have replaced as minus of sine hyperbolic square x. Now again this 1 upon sine hyperbolic square x would give us cosec cosec hyperbolic square x. So this is minus will give us plus, and this 1 upon this we are writing it as. So what we have done it here, so 1 upon this 1 upon sine hyperbolic square x we have written as cosec hyperbolic square x, and this minus becomes plus. So we have got this particular identity here. Now what is the relation again? This 1 plus cosec hyperbolic square x can be replaced as, so if you observe here, this 1 plus can be replaced as cot hyperbolic square x. So we are just replacing that particular 1 plus cosec hyperbolic square x as cot hyperbolic square x with the minus sign, because it would no, it's actually plus sign, and we have got this minus sign from this step. So this is nothing but 1 minus 1 upon cot hyperbolic square x. Now again 1 plus tan hyperbolic square x is equals to sec hyperbolic square x. So we are using this fact over here. So that means what? Cot hyperbolic square is this is particular equals to, so that, but this can be written as, so 1 upon cot hyperbolic square x can be written as 1 upon sine. So this is not, we are not using it here right now, we'll be using it further. So this is nothing but the relation between 1 by cot is same as tan, 1 upon cot hyperbolic square x is same as tan hyperbolic square. So this is what the fact we have used it here, right? So 1 upon cot we have written as tan hyperbolic square, and this is nothing but now 1 upon, so this is tan hyperbolic square x, and just by cross multiplying and everything will be getting like this. Yeah. So this is 1 minus, so this is what we have used it here, right? So 1 minus tan hyperbolic square x is equals to sec hyperbolic square x, which is this, and this can be written as cos hyperbolic square of x. So this is just by the basic formula what we have defined in here in the previous session. We have used the same thing here. Now solve the example or equation 17 cos hyperbolic x plus 18 sin hyperbolic x is equals to 1 for real values. So very important, for real values of x. Now 7 cos hyperbolic x plus 18 sin hyperbolic x is equals to 1 can be written as, using this formula, that is sin hyperbolic x is z is equals to e to the power z minus e to the power minus z by 2, and cos hyperbolic z as e to the power z plus e to the power minus z by 2, and therefore we are just putting those values here because the variable has been given to us as x. So we'll be not going with z, we'll be going with x. Whatever the variable is been given in the example, we will not leave that particular variable, we'll be using the same variable. Whatever the formula we'll be using it, we'll be just replacing with that particular variable, and this is what we have got it. Now just by doing the adjustments and multiplying, cross multiplying, adding the indices of e to the power x, e to the power minus x, we'll be getting this type of equation. Just you pause the video and try to get this as the particular value or particular equation of this kind. Then this can be written as 30, so e to the power minus x, so you can say here this is nothing but 35 e to the power x minus 1 upon e to the power x is equals to 2. So just by cross multiplying you'll be getting the equation like this. After that this can be written as 35 e to the power 2x minus 2 times e to the power x minus 1 is equals to 0. Now this we are going ahead with minus b. So what is this? We have, that means what, this is an equation, quadratic equation in terms of e to the power x. So that means what, we are finding out the value of e to the power x here. So if you observe here, this is nothing but can be identified as e to the power x. So that means what, we have to find out the value of e to the power x by the formula minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So we are using the same formula here to get this e to the power x. So e to the power x is 2 plus or minus square root of 4 plus 140 upon 70 is equals to this particular thing, and we'll be getting two roots. Now one is positive, that is 14 upon 70, and second is minus 10 upon 70. Now this particular statement will play a role over here. So we wanted to have the values of x in the real values. So what do you mean by real values? So suppose for example I'm saying that e to the power x is equals to, I'm taking minus 10 upon 17. So that means what, we are going to get this x as the some complex number because of this minus sign present here of this particular root, and therefore we don't want to. That means what, we are discarding this particular 10 upon 70 root, because we have asked to get the answer in terms of the real values of x, and that is the reason we are discarding this particular root minus 10 upon 70 only because of the statement. If this statement would have not been there, then we could have gone for both the values of e to the power x, but now they have given us, they have asked us the value in only the real values, and that's the reason we are discarding the negative value of e to the power x. Therefore, for the real values of x, e to the power x should be positive, and therefore we'll be accepting the value e to the power x is equals to 14 upon 17, which is 1 by 5, and therefore x is equals to log of 1 by 5, which is same as minus of log of 5. This is the answer for this particular question, this particular equation of the values of x. If again, let me repeat it, if this particular statement would have been not there, that is for real values of x, we could have gone for both the values of e to the power x. Only because they have asked us the equation or the solving the equation or roots of this equation in terms of x only, that is the reason we have given here the real values as x is equals to log of 1 by 5 or minus log of 5. Okay, please note the change of this. Yeah, and this is self-observation slide, wherein again I have given you one of my favorite type of examples. This is my favorite because the way it has been asked in the presentation, step, that is the reason I like this particular question a lot. Then this is the second question, again the similar kind of question I have given you. Again you have to just okay, I'm not giving you any hint, just to try to find out the answer. If at all you are going to get any query, any difficulty in solving this, please let me ask in the let me know it in the comment section, so that I can address those comments or questions from the comments. Thank you. Happy learning.